How's it going, everybody? Nerds Rising here, and welcome back to the Nerd Cave. In today's video, we are finally getting back into some Open Great League action, and we're going to be taking a look at Shadow Donphan with its new move of Trailblaze. Now, I did actually look this up before making this video. PVPoke is still recommending Earthquake on the Donphan over Trailblaze. Even though Earthquake got that nerf, it is still wanting you to use Earthquake. And I'm imagining that's probably just because now, without that Earthquake, you don't have a stab charge move, and you also don't have a way to hit those steel types for super effective. Now, obviously, you still do have the counter damage, and I'm sure that the boosted counters are no joke, but yeah, we'll have to see if this thing is worth using Trailblaze. You definitely don't see it anyway super often in the Open Great League, but I'm imagining this thing may have some, like, side grade potential in some of the limited metas that we're going to see, but either way, thank you to Chimpie5242 for sending these battles in. I am looking forward to seeing what Shadow Donphan can do, and let's get right into the battles here. So, we are going to be taking a look at these here. These are from earlier in the season, just bear that in mind. Even though they're ranked 10, these are from like the first couple days of the season, so everybody else was also in the lower elos at this time. So picks up the dream lead here, Bastiodon into the Donphan, and the opponent answers with a Sableye. Now, excuse me. Starting off the video really great, guys. I already cannot speak, but typically you probably would want to bring in the Zard here just to keep it away from the Bastiodon, but the thing is here, there's a very common team that is Bastiodon, Sableye, and Medicham. So if we're reading here that there is a Medicham in the back, then it makes a lot of sense to bring in the Superior here, because then the Zard will be aligned to the Medicham in the endgame. So unfortunately there, throws on alignment, throws after 3 Vine Whips, and now doesn't make the next Frenzy Plant because he threw on alignment. The opponent was able to get a full Smackdown in for free, and doesn't make the second Frenzy Plant. So we'll have to see if that ends up having any effect in the endgame. The opponent does go straight for an Ice Punch here, and this is a non-Shadow Zard, so can easily no-shield that. And the opponent did actually... No, he hasn't thrown a move yet. But the opponent actually didn't shield that Dragon Claw. I was going to say, the opponent should definitely be shielding up their Medicham here, because, yeah, they no-shield the next Dragon Claw as well, and now they're just going to get countered down. I like this play here, just let this go. Saves the shield for the Donphan, and now Donphan can go for that Trailblaze. And this Bastion, I'm just going to get counter beat into the ground. They're not even going to make 2 moves here. And yeah, just shields this up. Even though he shields it, I think he still would live that. And probably still not get smacked down. But yeah, Bastion with his shield still in play. Gets farmed down. And the opponent should definitely have shielded up their Medicham there. Not really sure why they didn't, knowing he had a counter Donphan on the lead. But either way, takes the dub. And there is a Shadow Steelix lead here in the next battle. And this is actually probably another one where the Trailblaze is very nice, because you can just go for the Trailblaze, boost up your counters, and probably just counter the Steelix all the way down. So the opponent does switch out. They bring in a Frostlass, and there, honestly, probably would have been better just to save that energy on the Donphan and just bring the Zard in right away. But either way, does overfarm, and now can just go for the Claw, since he did chip the Frostlass. But yeah, they no-shield that. They're going to be bringing back in that Steelix, and again, throws after 3. Should be throwing after 4 there for proper timing. And now the opponent might actually be able to farm down, but no, they do throw some energy, so that is perfectly fine. Easily now, we'll just let this go, and does still have the alignment that he wants, but his Donphan is pretty low here, so this could get a little bit awkward now. Is he going to bring actually in the Superior here? And yes, brings in the Superior. I do like this play. Superior does have a lot more health, and now does have a way to reset that Breaking Swipe debuff, whereas, excuse me, if he brings in the Donphan, probably gets farmed down and then gets debuffed in the back. And he does actually make the snipe there, so very nicely done, and makes the body slam on the Donphan. And Medicham really, I hope the Medicham shields him, but no, the Medicham lets it go. And now he has to make the double move before they make 2 Ice Punches, and they do have a lot of energy here, but they go for a Dynamic Punch, so maybe they're running Dynamic Punch and Psychic, and that might be the win con here, because he does have the back-to-back Aerial Aces loaded here. And will this be enough to KO? I'm thinking it probably will be, but no, they live on 1 HP, oh my gosh. They live it on 1 HP, and they make another Dynamic Punch. Sorry, guys. I'm just like I have like a frog stuck in my throat here or something. I'm struggling here, but unfortunately there, the Aerial Ace didn't KO on 1 HP, and actually there, he did have the Frenzy Plant loaded, and even though the Aerial Ace is super effective there, Frenzy Plant actually still does do more damage. So if he went for the Frenzy there, he would have won that battle, but unfortunately takes the L. And in this battle, we had a Alolan Sandslash lead. They brought in a Golisopod safe switch, and they're able to get both shields in that mid game there. So Golisopod is just an absolute beast now with that spammy X Scissor and the Aerial Ace buff. And the Liquidation is just an absolute beast. And unfortunately, they do have a Lantern for this energy on the Zard, so it's not really going to be that useful. But the nice thing is he does still get a shield from that. They thought probably it was a Blast Burn, so they shielded up. and he still has the Donphan into the A-Slash here. And this is going to be very close. I think they will make a move here. And no, they actually don't make a move. 5 counters is enough to KO the A-Slash there. Oh my gosh. They don't make the move. And now Superior, even though it's down a shield, can still easily take out this Lantern. And that is going to be a GG because 2 Thunderbolts doesn't KO here. And Superior did bait for some reason. Not really sure why, but yeah. The opponent's just going to get farmed down here. And that's going to be a GG. I think they recognized it there, just didn't throw any more energy. And that's a GG. So, wow. Very interesting mid-game there with the Galissapod taking both shields, but still, switch advantage ended up being all he needed there and takes the dub. So, next battle, we have a Talonflame on the lead, and this time throws after very nice timing, after 7 counters. That is 14 turns into the opponent's 15 turns, and they do actually shield it up as well. So, is he going to match shields? Yes, he is. Going to match shields, but now I think he will just barely outpace to the body slam here, but it's looking to me like Talonflame probably wins the 2s just because of that Incinerate damage, and maybe not actually. Maybe he actually could have shielded that up and farmed down, but just elects to let it go, saves the shield for the Zard, and the opponent has a Lantern in the back, so unfortunately, switch advantage would have been very nice there because unfortunately, he doesn't have it. They're able to pivot out into their Sableye, and now Sableye is going to be into the Superior. And I think that the Superior is going to be just too low unless this Frenzy Plant KOs. But unfortunately, Shadow Claws are just getting him too low. And even if this Frenzy Plant KOs, I'm not sure he's healthy enough to make a move before he gets farmed down. And yeah, that just barely doesn't KO. They get one more Shadow Claw off. The Lantern farms down. And now Zard has to make double Blast Burn here. I don't quite think a Blast Burn and a Claw is going to be enough. We'll have to see. This is a non-Shadow Zard. With the Shadow Zard, maybe Blast Burn Claw does it. But yeah, that's not Claw range. So recognizes that, commits to the Blast Burn, and they do just barely outpace him there. So very heartbreaking loss in that game. That's one where you don't know. Usually giving Zard a shield advantage is a good thing to do, but unfortunately there, the switch advantage was more important and takes the L. So this battle, the opponent there, he safe switches out of that Donphan into the Superior, and the opponent answers with a Hypno after staying in for a little while. So this is definitely not an answer. And you probably do just want to shield this up, yeah, because you definitely want to maintain alignment here. You don't want that Donphan to go into that Vic. So yeah, I like that play. Throws on CMP here, does have the back-to-back, and the opponent just lets that go. And now he has switch advantage, and that means that Zard is going to be into that Vic. And if you're the opponent there, you definitely want to try to fight for switch if you're running an RPS Pokemon like Vic, because Vic is one of those things that absolutely crushes some things, like the Donphan, for example, but gets completely obliterated by everything else. So yeah, you definitely wanted to maintain switch advantage there if you're the opponent, and they have a Poliwrath in the back. And at this point, he could even just let this go, save it all for the Zard if he wanted to, but no, gonna shield it up, wants to show us the new Shadow Donphan in action with the Trailblaze. Trailblaze is gonna be KOing the Water type. Can he make the move? No, he cannot, but Zard already has the Blast Burn loaded, and that is gonna be a GG. So very well played in that battle. Switch advantage was what he needed, and yeah, I think the opponent definitely misplayed that by giving up switch advantage, but either way, takes the dub and takes the 3-5. Positive set there, and very nicely played. So some excuse me, some very fun battles there in that first set, and we do have another set of 5 coming at you guys. So sorry again, I'm not sure what it is. I'm literally just getting destroyed today for some reason. I can barely talk, and I'm coughing, and oh, you know what it is? I didn't take my Zyrtec today, guys. I normally take an antihistamine every day, and I did not take it this morning. That is totally why I am struggling right now, so I definitely need to make sure I take that before I go to work tonight. Otherwise, I'm going to be hacking and coughing all night long. And we had I think we had an Alolan Sandslash lead. I think it was an Alolan Sandslash lead here in this battle. And again, the opponent answers with a Hypno. So very interesting seeing all these Hypnos. And that does KO. No, it was a Toxicroak, actually. It was a Toxicroak. And the Toxicroak, I believe, farmed up a ton of energy on the lead there and then didn't throw it and then brought in the Hypno. So very interesting plays by the opponent so far. And they go for another Dynamic Punch, but he actually calls it. But that Dynamic Punch still does over half of the Charizard's health. They've got a Rock Throw Probopass in the back. Oh my gosh, guys. I've got to pause for a second. The Probopass literally just smacked the crap out of that team. I think did he lose with 2 shields there? I wasn't really paying that much attention. Calls the move here. The opponent was at 100 energy. The Dynamic Punch does like half of the Zard's health. And then the opponent has a Rock Throw Probopass in the back, and they just get the Donphan just gets completely deleted. Zard gets completely deleted there, and he loses the 2 shield. So yeah, definitely should probably have shielded the Dynamic Punch on the Toxicroak. because I think he would have made a Blast Burn into the Probopass there. But either way, very good game. Very crazy game there. I was barely paying attention, but that was quite the cluster there, and has a Shadow Golbat lead here in the next battle. Now, is he going to shield the Shadow Ball? And unfortunately does get baited by the Poison Fang. Honestly, these Golbats just love to go straight Poison Fang, but actually does get both shields here on the body slams, and that probably is a bit of a mistake by the opponent because these counters are double resisted, so they could have definitely lived one, not really been in danger of being farmed down, and now brings in the Zard with a shield advantage, lets the Poison Fang go, and there's a Lantern in the back. The opponent gave up switch advantage, and now their Lantern is going to get absolutely crushed here by the Superior. And I think here you just massively overfarm to 100 energy because nothing the Lantern can do can hurt you. And I really like that play. Farms up well past the back-to-back, takes them out with a Frenzy, and they have a Diggersby in the back. Oh my gosh. And this is just game over. I'm not really sure why they didn't bring back in the Golbat there. I mean, the Superior did have some energy, but I don't think that the Golbat was in air release range there, guys. Why they brought in the Diggersby there, I truly do not know. Yeah, they definitely should have brought in the Golbat there. And now they're just going to lose the game for that reason. And now Zard probably makes the Claw on CMP. Very nicely done. Wow, very interesting endgame there. The opponent there, I kind of actually like the opponent switching into the Lantern to draw out that potential Grass type. But then instead of bringing back in their Grass counter to KO the Superior, they brought in their Diggersby. So very interesting play by the opponent there. But in this battle, we have a Greninja on the lead. And oh my gosh, Greninja doesn't even make two moves. They get fully countered down. And unfortunately, Trailblaze here isn't going to help this matchup any more than the Earthquake would have. But he actually does get a shield. So I guess that's something. And I guess maybe the threat of another boosted move makes the opponent throw there. So yeah, I guess Trailblaze helped a little bit there, but honestly, yeah, a stab Earthquake probably just does way more into the Trevenant than a Trailblaze, so correctly shields the Shadow Ball. I think he could have farmed down there. Since he correctly shielded that Shadow Ball, probably just should have committed to the Wing Attack farm down, but either way, takes it out. There's a Lantern in the back, and it does not matter. This game is over anyway. Has the Superior in the back. They actually no-shielded the Blast Burn, and now they're just going to get fully farmed down. Didn't even need to throw the move here. Could easily have just Vine Whipped them all the way down. They shielded up anyway. And they're quickly going to realize, after they see how little damage this does, that this game is going to be over. And yeah, they surrender. So I don't blame them there for surrendering. And I believe we're getting into the last two battles, guys. These are flying through. Picks up a Alolan Ninetales here on the lead. And they actually don't throw right away. So allows them to get his Body Slam off first, which is very nice. And now I think you just have to let this go, because the A9 is on Powder Snow. And their pacing is going to be 5-4, 5-4. So yeah, they outpaced him by one fast move, and now has to double shield to maintain that matchup. And does have to stay in because it's an ABA team, where both things are weak to Ice, the Superior and the Ground type. And they catch the Body Slam onto the Jellicent. Oh my gosh. We'll be able to get this Trailblaze off, but yeah, when you're in the lead there, and you're in an an ABA style team where you're double weak to something, I think it's best just to take your advantage and then leave that matchup with an advantage, because by shielding up that first Powders, or the first Weather Ball there by the Ninetales, he was then forced to shield twice to maintain the alignment, because the A9 does outpace by one move, because Donphan on the Body Slams is just straight 5 to each Body Slam, whereas the Powder Snow A9 is 5-4, 5-4. So yeah, by not giving his backline a shield advantage, they've got a G-Fisk in the back, and this Charizard is going to get absolutely nuked out of the sky by a Rock Slide. And unfortunately going to get farmed down there. So yeah, would have definitely been better there to just what he could have done. I'm going to pause it, guys. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Let's just go back. We're going to use it as a teaching moment, because this is going to be a little bit of a shorter video. We always try to teach on the channel when we can. So let's just get back right from the start here. Donphan into Alolan Ninetales. I'm getting ahead of myself, so I think it's just going to be easier for you guys to see it if I just rewind it rather than talking through that last battle. So the Alolan Ninetales is going to be outpacing. So they could have actually gone for CMP, but the opponent overfarms there. And this is perfect because he throws the Body Slam here. I believe they even shielded it, which is amazing. And now you just have to let this go. Otherwise, you just know that you're going to be committing to double shield. So you just let this go here. You bring in your Charizard now. And if the opponent wants to give up alignment and bring in their Jellicent, that's totally fine, because then you can bring in the Superior to meet the Jellicent. But what he does instead here, he commits both shields there. They catch the move, which is even more brutal for him. And then they still have the shield advantage. So now they have the shield advantage. They're going to easily just shield this up. And even though he can bring in the Superior here, the G-Fisk was too healthy in the back. And the G-Fisk ends up sweeping that game because of it. So there, I think he plays out the lead a little bit differently. he probably does win that battle. But either way, very well played anyway by Chimpie, and I believe let's just get into the last battle here and see what he can do here in the last battle. So getting into it here, we have another Talonflame on the lead, another shiny, by the way, as well, and we'll have to see if he throws on good timing again, and it does look like he is going to throw on good timing after 7 counters once again. That is 14 turns into the 3 Incinerates. That is 15 turns for the opponent, effectively only letting them get in 1 free turn of energy. And that is basically best case scenario when you're working on your move timing is, if you can only give them 1 free turn of energy, that is basically best case scenario. The only way you don't allow at least 1 free turn of energy is if you're throwing on CMP. So does actually get a, let's see, it's 1-to-1 shields here, lets his Donphan go down, farms down with the Charizard, and there's a Scrafty in the back. Last time they had a Lantern to meet the Charizard, but this time they have a Scrafty, so clearly the Talonflame was their best answer to a Charizard. They're farming up massively, but the wing attack did go through, so either way, does not matter if he gets baited here, can just click on the Blast Burn, take out the Scrafty, and clearly they are very weak to this Zard in the back. What is it going to be? It's a Venusaur, and this is going to be all she wrote, folks. Zard gets the sweep in this battle, gets the kill of the Talonflame, KOs the Scrafty and the Venusaur, and Superior gets to sit that one out on the bench. And I believe that is all she wrote, folks. And yeah, picks up the 3-5 as well. So very nicely done here. So thank you guys so much for watching. That is the end of the video. Really cool to see the Shadow Donphan in action with the Trailblaze moveset. Now, again, I think we saw in that battle, in those battles, that really, I don't really think the Trailblaze helped that many times. There were a couple times where the boosted counters were nice, but overall, I think it probably is better to have that Nuke Earthquake just to hit for some heavy stab damage. But either way, really cool to see it in action nonetheless. So that is all today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, if you are new to the channel and you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe, because the more subscribers we can get, the more Pokemon my wife will let me play